IVM.
Some people think that Geek Fruit is a show about technology, but it's not. It's actually about us nerds. But if you are a tech head, that's a term I just invented for you, then you should definitely check out Shunya One, hosted by entrepreneur Shiladitya. It's a roundtable discussion about all the tech things you can find in India. Every week, check out the biggest headlines to dissect and discuss from tech, business, and the business of tech. That's Shunya One, every week on the IVM Podcast app and anywhere you like to listen to podcasts.
Hey, this is the Geek Fruit Bulletin. Jishnu,
Yes.
what was that? What were you doing just there? You're rocking your nose around? Is this like a way of clearing your sinuses or something?
Scratching my nose.
Okay, what I want to ask you, Jishnu, is you're a fan of the late nights, right? The various late night shows that are on television, and I'm guessing clips on YouTube is how pretty much everyone consumes them.
To us, they're morning shows, but yes.
To us, they're morning shows. Who would you say your favorite is? I'm a bit of I really like Seth Meyers and Colbert. Those are my guys right now. This is, but this varies. Jimmy Fallon is possibly my least favorite. Or actually maybe Kimmel. I don't know, it varies. But have you seen a lot of Colbert recently? He does this segment called Meanwhile. You've seen those? So essentially what he does is he goes like, alright, I know we talk about Donald Trump in the monologue the entire time. But, and then what he does, and this is crucial, so pay attention here. He comes up with a funny metaphor where he goes like, while we're juicing the oranges that are Donald Trump for the monologue, sometimes you just want a little hint of lemon. And that's what we do in this segment called Meanwhile. And then the graphic comes up and then he takes you through the Meanwhile segment. You know this. You know what I'm talking about.
You just asked me a very long question and you haven't given me a chance to respond.
Please respond.
I like Fallon.
Cool. But what I'm saying is, what Colbert does in this Meanwhile segment is basically come up with a funny, slightly related, sometimes completely unrelated way of introducing the segment every time. And that's essentially the conceit that we set out for the Geek Fruit Bulletin many, many episodes ago. And what I've noticed in the past few bulletins on which I have not been a guest is that Tejas has taken over those duties from me. And all he does is come up with rhyming words for news and not news.
Yes, much
so
to my
he
amusement.
goes like, who lives in Israel? Jews and not Jews? This is the Geek Fruit Bulletin. This makes no sense. I work so hard to set up something unique and beautiful. And you guys just do schoolyard rhymes with it?
Not you guys. I've never said a single rhyme on this show. Do I look like a rhymer to you?
Yes,
Okay.
fine. But you didn't say anything, which is almost as bad.
Which is what I always do. I say nothing and let you keep speaking, and therefore that retroactively makes me look smart.
Anyway, this is the Geek Fruit Bulletin. We talk about news and not news. My name is Dinkar. With me is my best friend and co-host Jishnu Guha.
We just had cake.
We just had cake thanks to our new producer, Shlok. Hey, Shlok.
Hi, Dinkar.
All right.
Great start.
That was our new producer, Shlok. He's already fired for calling me Jishnu. But yes, what I was saying, in all seriousness, is we've had several producers on the show.
None of them gave us cake.
None of them gave us cake. It's been, 3 years? 3 years and at least 4 producers. I would say maybe 5.
Would you like to count? We're at 8,
All right.
buddy.
Please count. The first one, the very first one?
The very first was May.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
this might have been... So you joined, I think, on episode 3, right? Your first episode was a few in. Because I know
Yes.
Tejas and I did the pilot and maybe one after that.
Correct. So May was around for those.
So May was around for that. That's when
All right.
IBM was all of 4 people.
Yes.
And now it's at friggin' 30 or something like that, almost? Give or
We're
take.
around 20, I think. Around 20 is the number.
Okay.
Yeah, it's around 20 people who are all very hungry for cake.
Exactly, yeah.
So-
That cake came waste.
Basically,
so fast.
it was my birthday a little while ago. And in fact, the day before the day we're recording this, and Shlok got his cake, which no one has done up till now.
Yeah.
And then we got only a slice because the hungry IBM staffers wanted the other 20 pieces.
So let me list the 7 other people that did not get
All
us
right,
cake.
so May.
So May was the first one, May Thomas. Who now,
What we're doing
what?
right now is
What?
calling out all of these people.
For
I
not-
know
for- yeah.
at least some of them still listen to the show. Some of them can never hear our voice again. But
'Cause Shlok
hey,
has
May, I heard you produced this podcast. Where's my cake, May?
Exactly. Shlok has showed us how easy it is
Exactly.
to get cake.
All you had to do was call up Theo Broma and say, hey.
Hey, it's Dinkar's birthday. Where's the cake?
Exactly. Who is next?
So May did not get us cake. Then was Mally.
Mally?
Malvika Manoj.
Hey, Mally, where's my cake? You produced the... Hey, wait a second.
What?
Mally never produced our show.
She did.
No.
Yeah.
She did not.
Yeah, for like 2
After
episodes.
May was
she like
Siddhant.
subbed in for like 2
Exactly.
episodes.
She subbed in. I
I'm
wouldn't
picking at the
count
weeds
her.
right now. That's all I
Yeah.
have, right? A
All
big
right.
old bag of weed.
Also, yeah, fine. Okay.
So we got May, we
Sid-
got Mally. We then
No.
got Sid.
no.
What?
Uh,
No, those are, then we had
Exactly. I'm going to let you flounder here.
Oh my goodness, this is horrible. Oh
You know what? I'm
Oh.
going to say, if you can't remember his name...
no, I can't. I'm
didn't-
just high on cake right now.
All right. Give me his name, Jishnu.
Are you
These are the
eating the
weirdest...
cake?
Yeah, these are the weirdest sounds I've ever heard.
This is my brain thinking.
Seems like you're still eating the cake.
This is my brain thinking.
Unimportant, but all I'm saying is fine, he didn't have to get us cake because apparently we can't remember his name.
Wait, you can't remember? This is horrible.
I know it. It's at the tip of my mind. I don't have to remember things, okay? It's my birthday. After that was Siddhant.
God, this is so bad. I feel like such a piece of shit.
Also, to be fair, he was never producer while I was on. I never...
What?
I only
Ever?
met... No.
He was there for like months, dude.
I know, but I only ever met him the 1 or 2 times when I guested on the show. So, when we started the show, you and Jishnu would host it, and I would guest occasionally. Sorry.
This cake
Look
is,
at what you've done to me,
This
Shlok.
cake has really gotten to us, man.
Did
We're
I
not
just
used
say
to this.
you and Jishnu?
We're not used to
You and
this.
Tejas would host.
Oh my goodness.
I like how, essentially what's happening here
This episode is a car
all of
crash.
us are trying to shift the title of Jishnu onto someone else. Like
This
Shlok is
episode
like,
is
you're the Jishnu.
straight up car fire. Dead babies and all.
Okay, before we go through all our producers, which we have previously when Darius was on. Darius, by the way, another producer who never got his cake. Vagish Jishnu, his name was Vagish.
Vagish! Yes!
Vagish
He was
K.
so good.
Bhan.
He was so good.
He was a nice guy.
Following which was...
He was one of the few nerds who was also super into sports.
Yes.
So he was a bit of a rarity that
He had the
way.
fan garage.
And he went to work in sports after he met us, I believe. So we drove him away from the nerd world.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Following which was Siddhant.
Hey, where's my cake, Vagish? Okay, Siddhant. Now.
Siddhant,
Siddhant.
steamrolled his way
Siddhant,
onto the
where's
show.
my cake, bitch? Next.
Following Siddhant,
Siddhant,
was...
still a great friend of ours. Still tries to message me every once in a while and tells me what anime to watch so I can catch up.
Who was after that?
After Siddhant would have been Janam, I suppose.
No, Naveen.
Oh, right. No.
Yeah.
Oh, Naveen then Janam?
Yeah, Naveen then Janam.
Naveen. Hey, Naveen, where's my cake? Never got a cake from you, Naveen.
Then Janam, then...
Think you're too cool to give me a cake, huh?
Then Janam, then Darius, and then now Shlok.
Hey,
Yeah.
Janam, where's my cake? These are all people who wished me. They were very sweet. But where's my fucking cake?
Keep going.
Yeah. After Janam was Darius.
Darius.
Darius, I've already called out. Yeah. And my favorite producer so far, Shlok. Hey, Shlok, what's up?
Hi, Dinkar, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got this.
My second favorite producer, Shlok. Anyway, this episode is called Getting to Know Shlok. And what we're trying to do here, other than call out all our former producers for not getting us cake, is to get to know you a little bit. So tell us about yourself, Shlok. What are you into? What is your nerd thing?
I don't pretty much have like an... Okay, I have...
Are you a
football.
Harry Potter
I
buff?
can say football is my
Oh
nerd
my
thing.
God, you're a sportser.
Yeah, I'm a sports guy.
All right.
Yeah.
What's your... Yeah, he's a sportser.
Yeah.
All right.
What's your team? Are you a Premier League person?
I would prefer not to talk about it because...
Really?
What?
We've
It's
hit
a
a
We're not
nerve.
doing so well.
We've hit a nerve.
We're not
Oh.
doing so well. But okay, I mean, since I'm here, I support Arsenal.
All right.
And
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Hate
I
those guys.
would like your condolences right now.
Yes. It's
So-
a tough time for you guys.
It's
I
a very
believe.
tough time.
All right. What about... Okay, so that's cool. This is a second producer we've had who's into sports. Was Vagish a football boy? I know he was into Formula
I
1
think
or
he was
something like that.
maybe a
Again, I
cricket
never knew him
guy?
too well. I don't know. He was on the Fan Garage which talked about every sport. So whatever.
This is also
He
true.
knew a bunch of stuff. What else? Were you like a Harry Potter kid?
No, not really.
But
I was too stupid to understand it, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. It was just... All the characters would go over my head, and then I was like, screw this. I mean, I'm not dealing with it. That's the same reason why I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Sure.
It was just like
fair
so
enough.
many characters. So I did try. I'm not
To
saying
be
I
fair,
didn't
we
try.
watched Game of Thrones and we can't remember a lot of the characters. There's a lot.
It's just that I didn't want to deal with so much. I was like,
No,
okay,
fair play.
dude.
I would have stopped at season 4 if the Geek Fruit podcast wasn't a thing.
I feel like at this point you wouldn't watch anything if it wasn't for the Geek
This
Fruit
is
podcast.
very, very
Vishnu.
true. This
You
is-
watched 8 hours of The Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I bleed so that other people don't have to.
I suppose so.
Okay. What was the last TV show or movie that you couldn't stop talking about?
Oh, that 70s show.
Oh.
Yeah.
But are we talking back when it came out, or are we talking recently? Like
No,
when you
I
first saw it and you
rewatched
still
recently.
haven't.
No, I
okay.
rewatched it recently.
Sure.
You wouldn't have been old
No, I
enough.
wasn't, yeah.
You're a young one,
I-
aren't you? How old are you?
I'm 22.
He's 22.
Oh,
Vishnu.
Jeebus.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
would
so
have
how
been
old were
like
you when that
9
show-
when that 70s show came
Christ.
out, right?
What in
Possibly
the hell?
younger. So, what's
Hey,
your math, Vishnu?
you're now 10 years older than he is.
That's true.
Damn.
Yeah.
But see, in that sense, my all-time favorite TV show is South Park.
Hey, we'll take
So
it.
I
Interesting.
mean, yeah, I mean,
Are you still
I
with
love
it?
it.
Are you
Yeah,
still with it?
I've
Yeah, yeah.
watched it like
You watch it regularly even now?
I mean, since like till the last season was out, I did watch
That's
it. Till
pretty
then.
impressive.
I
That's
very
always,
impressive.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
always liked it. I mean,
Of course.
especially now since they're bringing in those, like current situations and things that are
Right,
going
yeah,
on and
yeah.
using that. I'm really a fan of that. So
Awesome. Have you seen the Trey Parker Matt Stone movies that they've done? Not South Park, but like
Team
Yeah,
America.
there was
and
this,
basketball, things like that.
that police movie, right? That
Team America.
Team America.
Team America.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it
the
Strike
puppet, the puppet thing?
Team Force America?
Yeah. Yeah, might have been. No. Team America.
Just Team America?
Team America and South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut were the 2 big movies.
Sure.
And then like Orgasmo
yeah.
and stuff,
Yeah.
like you were saying. Interesting. One of the hooks of South Park has always been the fact that they can turn around like topical stuff really quickly for an animated show because they came up with that thing. There's a really cool documentary about the thing. I forget what it's called. Something like
I heard about this. Yeah, I think
right
you
where
mentioned it to
where
me.
they document the process of how they make the TV show like literally in 4 days or so.
Yeah.
And I found out Bill Hader used to like write a bunch on it. Like he'd just keep popping in and like working on it and popping out. Bill Hader does all kinds of weird stuff.
What do you know?
What do I know? I know some random things.
A few things, yeah.
I'm getting to know. Shlok. Tell us more, Shlok. How did you end up here?
This was purely a coincidence. So I was
Right.
looking for something to do after college. Like
You've just finished college.
I just finished college.
What did you study?
How many marks did you get?
Let's not talk about that. So,
Enough that he has to work at
I was
IBM
stupid enough
Podcast.
to not to understand Harry
Enough
Potter.
to get you here.
But what did you study?
I did producing filmmaking.
I see.
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Okay.
And just when I finished college, I was like, I want to work somewhere, I want to do something. And I got this placement thing from my college, and I've jumped from wanting to act to wanting to learn how to write to
Right.
wanting to then finally produce. So I've just been jumping here and there, and I was a little too confused about what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, I'll do something new. I'll try something different altogether. I didn't even know what podcasts were, to be honest. Of course, I knew
Don't
what
be
it
that
was.
honest. It's,
Yeah, of course, I knew what they were in a sense, but I didn't know that, where I would listen to them or, what different kinds are there and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, cool. Let's just try something new. Let's just figure
I'm
this
loving
out.
the story. So IVM Podcasts met you at campus placements?
Yes.
All right. Who interviewed you?
Abbas and Janam.
I see.
Ooh.
And did you tell them you didn't know what podcasts
Yes.
are? All right. And what did they say?
They said, yeah, okay, cool.
we can mold
I can
him.
imagine it now. They were like,
Yeah.
do you know what podcasts
No,
are?
so
Shlok said
the
no,
thing is-
and they were like,
the
neither
thing
do our
is-
hosts. Please
no,
come
the
on.
thing is that by the time I got to the interview, I listened to a lot of podcasts. I read up about it and things like that. So I was...
Oh, you did your research.
yeah, I was
you
not
walked
like-
in all prepared.
What did you
course,
read
I
about
mean-
podcasts?
I mean, the way the podcast industry has been growing in India in the past couple of years, where IVM is, things like that. So I did my
Interesting.
research, of course.
Man,
Yeah.
you are a nerd. I see. You fit right in with us. Did you know Abbas and Janam were going around interviewing kids
No.
on college campuses?
I had no
No,
idea.
no, they didn't come to the campus. So
Oh, okay.
I got an email.
Right.
It was a
from-
don't call us, we'll call you, and they called him. And
Right.
I said,
Yeah,
okay, I'll
pretty
be there.
much. They called me for like the interview after looking at the CV, and then I came. And
And you've been here, what, a month now?
I'll finish 2 months. Yeah,
Wow.
How many other shows are you producing?
2 others.
Which are?
Which are?
Advertising is Dead
All right.
and Football Shotball.
And how did you end up with these shows, particularly us? Why are you the one stuck with us? We are we're like the dead pigskin of IVM podcast,
Yeah,
like just getting passed on to like.
I call us the village bicycle.
Everyone pulls straws, and the shortest straw gets the Geek Fruit Podcast. Is this true?
Nothing
Or,
like that.
okay, maybe the easier question or the better question is, how did Darius get out of it?
I think it's one of those situations where they all stand in a line, and
Yeah.
then I suppose
And then he wasn't in on the
probably
joke.
Amit comes out and goes like, "All right, everyone who doesn't want it, no,
Everybody who wants to take the Geek Fruit podcast take one step forward, and everybody else took a step back.
the person who wants to produce. How does this usually work? The stroke." Who wants to
Okay.
produce the Geek Fruit podcast? Step
Yeah,
forward, and everybody else took a step back, and Shlok was just looking around like, "Wait, what's going on?"
I just fucking said that.
No, you said everyone take a step forward. It's
And then-
one guy take a step forward.
No, Arre baba.
Okay,
This is the sound of a face
fine.
palm.
Shlok, let's get to the real questions. There's me, Jishnu, and Tejas. Who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite?
Yes, I will remind you that I'm the one who got the cake, so this question is moot.
What?
Yeah, I got the
That
cake.
doesn't mean you're his favorite. That means you're born.
I'm gonna squirm out of this by saying it's your birthday. You're my favorite.
I like
It's
it.
not his birthday.
There you go.
It was your birthday yesterday.
And I'm still
you
his
got
favorite.
Cake. What
Yes,
the shit?
exactly.
You can't get cake and best friend.
So again, tell us, how did you end up with us?
How did I end up with you guys?
And are you already plotting how to get away?
No. I'm not plotting how to get away.
That's
See, the
exactly
thing
what
is
somebody's
that
plotting would tell you.
You just told me that, I'm probably like that. I'm your favorite producer, right?
Yes.
So I mean, I think Amit thought of it. It's like, okay, this is one of our longest serving shows. They should get one of the producers that gets people cakes and stuff like that.
I
So
like
I think
it.
that's why he
Yes.
chose me.
This is
Yeah.
all obviously a lie, but I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I can.
I'm willing to accept
So
it.
if it took us only 260 episodes to get cake, imagine what would happen.
This episode is called Getting to Know Shlok.
520 is a party.
520.
I think
Yeah,
what we're
that's a
figuring
party,
out about
for
Shlok
sure.
is he's a pretty smooth faker, man. He walked into an interview and went like, "Oh yeah, podcast, of course, I know all about the state of the industry." And here he is telling us how he's working for the Geek Fruit podcast because...
I did tell them that I had no idea.
Right.
I mean, I want this to be on record. Please listen to me. I did tell them I did not have
Do you
an
think
idea.
you're going to walk in
and
for
I
like
did
one of
my
your...
research. You're going to get me fired, right? Just let's get
I think you're going to walk in for an appraisal interview and it's going to be Abbas just playing clips of the tape going like, "And then you said this. What do you have to say for yourself?" And see, we can't help you then because we are powerless in this entire system.
Oh, yeah.
We just go like, "Cool, I guess we're talking about this week."
Yeah, for you, it's just going to be a ninth producer.
That's true. Did we count how many producers we listed?
I think 8, right?
8.
8, huh?
Yeah.
You don't listen to me.
I have mentioned before that this show is famous for making me look terrible at math when I'm actually pretty okay at math. But anyway, do you know about this story, Shlok?
No, I don't.
Basically, I was once talking with Tejas about the movie Robot. In fact,
Oh, okay.
the sequel to Robot, starring Rajnikant.
Yeah.
And I wanted to compare its budget to the budget of Avengers. And I was looking at these numbers on my phone while having a conversation.
This is the problem. You don't pay attention.
Sometimes I don't pay attention because I'm
You're
trying to
just
do
Googling
something.
while I'm
so I
talking to
looked
you.
up the Robot budget and I
Jesus.
looked up the Avengers budget. And because of just like not paying attention, I meant to say that Avengers budget was 4 times the budget of Robot, but I said Robot's budget was 4 times the budget of Avengers. And unfortunately, we both took that as fact and proceeded with, "Well then, why does it look so terrible?" And then a lot of complaints came in saying like, "Wow, you guys got that completely wrong, huh?"
So that happens a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I could see myself making such a mistake, so I'm not going to...
Which is why you're perfect to have on the show.
So, in conclusion, you've been here now with us for 2-ish months,
Yes.
give or take. What would you suggest we do to improve ourselves? This will be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please know that there are no wrong answers. But we do have some power here. We could put in a very strongly worded email, depending on how we like what you say.
Suddenly all the smoothness has run out. Okay. Now I'm figuring out what to say.
This is the good cop, bad cop.
Who is the good cop? I feel like we're both kind of mediocre cops.
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I've just been
Is
on
it
a few
turning
episodes.
up on time?
Sorry?
Turning up on time?
Yeah, I guess that would work.
That's a tough one for us.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think we can.
Yeah.
No.
Nice try, but that's not going to happen.
That's cool.
This is one of the reasons we drive producers insane. Our producers gallery is pretty much as big and varied as Batman's Rogue gallery, say. We've essentially created an Arkham Asylum of ex-Geek Fruit producers. I can imagine all of them like just locked away going like, "I'll get them one day."
I'll take it.
Right? Interesting. Have you found...
So suddenly getting lesser and lesser friendly.
Yes.
So,
Okay, tell me this.
But I mean, the villains are the cool ones.
I'm going to ask a
Let's be
genuine
real.
question
Let's be
now.
real.
Have you found, while we've been talking about stuff these past couple of weeks, we've talked about The Boys, we've talked about various things.
You can't remember anything, can you?
Yeah, I can't remember anything past last week.
Forget everything the minute.
Chernobyl. Are you finding, since you're not coming from like a I watch all the pop culture kind of space, which we obviously come from,
Yeah.
are you finding yourself getting interested in anything in particular?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
I mean, in terms of when you all spoke about The Boys, I've not heard particularly bad things. Okay, I've just heard that fine, decent show. It's picking up a lot of steam and things like that. But there are a lot of insights that I'm getting here as to how like a lot of people can just simply be fooled
Yeah.
by so much of like, good cast and like big
Right,
producers
right.
and things like that, and they win half the battle there, right? Like it's for
Butts and seats, yeah.
yeah. They just win half the battle there, and people won't. And in that thing, there are a lot of times where these kind of shows get a lot more importance and a lot more people get to know more about this than the others that are actually probably good. But do not have the similar kind of cast, or they don't have a similar backing, as I would say.
So
we're
are you
kind of-
saying you're going to actively now seek out to be an indie film aficionado hipster who will only consume the media that is not being spoken about?
I think that'll have to be on us.
What?
Right?
What?
Like, of the producers we've had, a lot of them have been like really intense nerds. Like Siddhant, for example, is a uber nerd.
Yeah.
He still teaches me about anime to this day.
Right.
Vagish really knew his comics. Naveen has always been like a movies and pop culture guy and super into sci-fi as well. Possibly the one somewhat geek culture novice was Janam. She pretty much only saw the Human Centipede movies before she met us.
Yep.
But over the course of a year and a half or so, we converted her into like a pretty decent geek. She now watches everything and she's into everything. And that, I think, is what will happen to you.
I'm hoping that happens to me. I want to watch some good things. To be honest, I was thinking that, you guys will tell me about a particular show, you guys will talk about a show, and I'll kind of learn things about it, and I'll go for it. But at least except for Chernobyl, the past 2-3 episodes, you've been pretty much hating on shows, so I don't know, if this is going to be good.
I guess that's who we are.
This is not going to be good, so let's not watch this. Let's wait for when they actually praise a show, and then I'll go and watch that.
Fair.
Did you watch Chernobyl?
In Chernobyl?
Did you?
No, I
Okay.
haven't started that yet.
Well, hopefully you get a contact guy from
No, but
us
I'm going to start that for sure.
soon enough.
I'm going to start Chernobyl. Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Another problem is, of course, that we spoil most of the stuff we talk
This
about.
is very true.
But that's okay. You'll get
That's
used
an
to it.
occupational hazard.
Yeah.
Somehow we'll make a nerd out of you, is what we're saying.
Let's get down to business.
Let's
Hoping
get down
to be a nerd
business.
at something. I mean,
Yeah.
my
We're referencing
parents
a
would be
song
proud.
from Mulan, and the live-action remake is coming soon, so watch it. This is your
But it's not a
homework
musical,
assignment.
so maybe they'll just have
I know,
spoken
it's not
word
a musical.
poetry.
How can you take the songs out of Mulan?
They're just going to have a conversation. Let's get down to business.
Good lord.
Okay, cool. Let's do it. The
All
end.
right.
No
Anyway.
song.
This has been the Geek Fruit Bulletin, and this has been Getting to Know Shlok. See ya, you nerds.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that episode. And if you enjoy listening to content on the IVM Podcast Network, let me tell you about a couple of things that you should check out this week. On Football Shootball, hosts Gaurav, Karthik and Soa talk about the Super Saturday game Arsenal versus Liverpool and discuss how everyone fared in the Fantasy Premier League. On Geek Fruit, Jishnu and Dinkar ponder over what is a C-list superstar and which Hollywood stars qualify. On Mr. and Mrs. Binge Watch, Anirudh and Janice discuss Netflix originals Glow and Orange is the New Black, which are back with new seasons. On Marbles Lost and Found, Zen and Avanti are joined by podcast producer Janam Diwan for part 2 of dealing with grief and loss. On What a Play, Akash and Siddharth are joined by fellow comedian Harmanpreet Singh. They talk about fast bowler Jofra Archer, the India-West Indies series, Ravi Shastri getting reappointed as coach, and a whole lot more. Thanks, and we hope to see you again soon.
Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Careers in the new podcast series presented by Accenture. I'm your host Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay. In this podcast series, we'll get you the latest and greatest in the world of technology that's shaping the future of business as we know it. We're talking intelligent platforms, cloud, AI, blockchain, extended reality, and a whole lot more. Every fortnight on Wednesdays, we'll have for you a hot topic with expert speakers from Accenture talking about top trends in the space, how these are changing the world and creating growth across industries. And importantly, we'll tell you how you can learn more, build your skills and expertise to grow and stay relevant in your career. Episodes out on the IVM Podcast app or wherever you get your podcast from.